Well, his first and only interview, Reggie Bush owned Los Angeles. This is a city that's got professional NBA teams, multiple Major League Baseball teams, MLS teams. When Reggie was here, he owned the city as a collegiate athlete. Then the NCAA handed down incredibly punitive strikes against the program. 30 scholarships lost, wins vacated, and Reggie Bush was not allowed to be associated for 10 years with USC. That is now officially over. Reggie Bush joining us via the Cowherd Global Satellite Network. So let me start with the obvious question. When you got the official news, you could now once again be part of the USC family. What was your initial reaction?
I was excited. This has been something I've dreamed of for a long time, to be able to come home and spend time with some of the younger players, some of the coaches, some of the faculty, the staff members there. There's still people there that I've developed strong, close relationships with that I've known for a very long time, all the way down to the equipment people. And that's, a testament of what we built in our time there while I was at USC. We built relationships that extended far beyond the football field. And most, and if not all of the people, that I've spent time with there, especially my teammates, I consider family. And to this day, we are, that relationship, again, like I said, goes far beyond the football field. So for me, we're excited to be back. Can't wait to get to the university and get to know some of the young players there, and start to help, initiate change and just help bring back greatness to USC.
At the lowest point, Reggie, may have been 10 years ago, may have been 7 years ago, when you could not connect with USC, ostracized from the program. How bad was it?
What do you mean? How bad was it? For me? How bad was it?
What you love the program and you're told, keep away, stay away.
Yeah.
What's that like to go through?
Yeah, it's tough. It's very tough. I went through a lot as a person. I went through a lot as a man. A lot of my confidence as a man was shot down. And, I had some struggles throughout my career in the NFL because of the things that happened to USC. A lot of the things that I experienced, that I went through, that, I went through that I had to deal with, from backlash, from everything that happened. It was tough. It was not easy. But this is the thing for me. I couldn't stay in that spot. Because if I stayed in that spot, then I never would have, had the opportunity to really enjoy my time in New Orleans. And that's the thing. Everything happened so quick. For me, I got drafted, went to New Orleans, a team, an organization that needed change in a city that had just been destroyed by Hurricane Katrina. So I quickly had to get to work. But this always lingered in the back of my head. It always lingered in the back of my mind. It's the thing that kept me up late at nights, almost every night. And it's the thing that, that kind of haunted me too as well.
Reggie, I said this earlier, outside of maybe Tim Tebow, I don't remember a college player the last 20 years that would have had a more lucrative college career if you were paid for likeness or merchandise or merch.
Yeah.
You and Tebow, there's not really a third. And there have been a lot of great players. But take me back. You're 19 years old. The NFL's not in Los Angeles.
Right.
You were in a group of 2 or 3 sports people in the city of Los Angeles, 10 million people, as the biggest star. Just take me back to the best, the crest, the best years of USC. What was it like to be Reggie Bush?
It was amazing. It was amazing to be able to look on the sidelines and see Snoop Dogg, see Will Ferrell, see a lot of, ex players, Marcus Allen, Ronnie Lott. You see those kind of guys on the sidelines cheering for you and supporting you. And it means a lot. And that's one of the reasons why I can't wait to go back, because I know what it means to be able to look to that sideline and see some of the OGs, some of the older guys who did it before you. Marcus Allen is from my area. We grew up in the same area where the high school he went to, I grew up maybe 5 miles down the street from. And so I looked up to Marcus Allen, for a long time, and I still do because of the person that he is, the man he is, and guys like Ronnie Lott, who have been in my corner from day one. These are guys that, eat, sleep, and breathe Cardinal and Gold, eat, sleep, and breathe USC. And those are the kind of guys that, I can't wait to get around those guys and again, help bring back some of the greatness back to USC.
I got to ask you about the Saints. We had Gerald McCoy was on yesterday, and Gerald McCoy said, I'm going to accept Drew Brees' apology. When I was a young player in the league, Drew Brees helped me, and I was trying to sack him. I thought Drew was tone deaf, and I think it's much more important to be concerned about what Michael Thomas thinks of you than the president. And I think he was tone deaf and made a correction. Do you think Drew could struggle winning everybody back in that locker room? You know him.
Well, I know Drew personally, and I know my relationship with Drew. And very similar to the story Gerald McCoy is saying that, Drew helped him. My first introduction to meeting Drew Brees was the night before the draft when the Houston Texans passed up on me. Drew called me that night before it had even been announced and said, I can't wait to play with you because I had a chance to play with LaDainian Tomlinson, who I consider to be one of the greatest running backs ever. And I think you have a shot to be just as good or better than him. And so right away, that completely shifted everything, my mentality, whatever, anxiousness or just uncomfortable feelings that I had inside of me about being passed up on and now going to a city which we didn't know if they were going to have a home stadium. We didn't know what the future held for that city because they had just been through Hurricane Katrina. And Drew took the opportunity to call me. And that's why I've accepted Drew's apology on national TV, on Speak for Yourself. And Drew's actually also reached out to me personally and just apologized once again and said that, he hoped that his divisive comments didn't hurt and that he couldn't wait and that he was excited to be our ally in this fight. And I really respect Drew a lot because I know his heart. I know the person he is. Yes, those comments were tone deaf and divisive at the wrong time, but I think Drew will do a great job at educating himself, processing this the right way, and changing the narrative as well.
I was just thinking about something I didn't ask you about USC. I want to circle back.
Go ahead.
I've never really bought into this vacated wins thing. Listen, it doesn't matter. I watched you play. You were the best team easily. On a personal level, do you think you'll get the Heisman back? Would that matter to you?
Yeah. If to say that I don't want it back would be a lie. And so I do want to be completely honest about that. 100%, I want my Heisman Trophy back. But also at the same time, I'm more focused on the kids now because what happened to me is in the past. And we're not going to change what happened and we're not going to be able to, change everything that happened in that situation. But what we can do is learn from it now. And that's why I'm so happy. I'm so happy that kids will now be able to make money off their name, image, and likeness because that is what's fair and that is what they deserve, right? It's very, in no other form of work can a company say, hey, you come and work for us, but you cannot make money off your name, image, and likeness, but we can. And that's unfortunate because you're hamstringing a lot of families, a lot of kids when they're in their prime. When you're 19, 20 years old, that's when you're starting to hit your prime. And that's when you're starting to see this change in your body physically, especially for young men. And so that's the critical time for some of these kids to be able to capitalize off of some of those things. And I think it's very important because as we now move to the name, image, and likeness and the legislation that's being written on that, who is looking out for the players in this situation? Because I have to believe that the NCAA is going to protect, their investments, which they should, right? I'm not saying that they shouldn't do that, but at the same time, I don't want to see these players to be hamstringed once again because of maybe the new rules that come out doesn't fully support them in the way that it should be. So that's my focus right now. The Heisman Trophy and everything that happened with USC, that's in the past. Would I love to have it back? Hell yes. But at the same time, is it my focus right now? Absolutely not.
Did you ever feel taken advantage of being a star in Los Angeles with all the money and the agents and the stars and not? Did you ever feel taken advantage of as a college athlete?
100%. 100%. At the time, did I feel that? No, because at the time, it was just about balling on the football field with your teammates. It was about being in the locker rooms, during before, after school and before you go to practice and sharing those stories with your brothers and building that chemistry on and off the football field. That's what it's about at that time. You're not thinking about the money, none of that stuff that people could or could not be making off of you. Once you leave and then you start to really understand what college football is all about, then that's where you go back and you say, okay, there was a big significant injustice that happened here. Not just to me, but to everybody that came through the college system. Because, again, as I said before, in no way, shape, or form is it okay to tell a young kid when he's in his prime, you can't make money off your name, image, and likeness, but this big-time corporation can.
Reggie Bush, I see a wine cellar in the back. It's a little early for wine, but you enjoy a nice Pinot tonight, Reggie.
I will. Thank you. All right.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.